pleased with the way camp has gone. I thought we've had a really productive camp. I think the one thing going into it that we needed to do was develop depth, and certainly that's the case. We had a lot of guys get opportunities and make the most of it. And as you play a long season, you got to do that. And we felt like we came out of it developing good depth. We're starting to get guys back that were bumped and bruised, and we've had great preparation. Obviously, this week has been very difficult for everybody, and our hearts go out to the three families and what they're going through. Just a devastating tragedy. We've talked together as a team. We've hung together as a team through these trying times, but that's how we got through it. We got through it with our immediate families and our football family, and that's how you do it. And we've stuck together through this. We've taken it one day at a time, and that's where we're at today.
Go ahead. Coach.
Yes.
The question has to be asked. We haven't seen you since last week right after it happened. They've had a week to practice since it. You were in such the football mode coming into it. The guys, all season prepare. Mentally and physically, do you feel your team, because of what happened, do you feel they're ready? They were normally ready to play the season over, but do you feel they are ready for Thursday?
Yes, I do. Our coaching staff has done an unbelievable job because of the type of men they are, and I hired them because they're fathers first. I know what kind of parents they are. I know what kind of husbands they are, and that's exactly what they've been through this time. And we've been around these young men through this difficult time. It hasn't been easy by any means. The first day we went out there on Tuesday, it was hard. It was hard, but the best thing to do was to get out there, move around, and I felt as we got going, guys started to get back into a routine. But it hasn't been hard. It hasn't been easy. We've talked to each other quite a bit. You're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days, but you got to lean on each other. And that's exactly what our team's done. They've leaned on each other. I've leaned on them. They've leaned on me, and that's how you do it. But I feel like this team is ready to play. We're not ready to play today. Told them after practice, we're going to prepare all the way up until 6 p.m. on Thursday. And then when the game starts, we're going to continue to make adjustments. So, but I think we've responded through all of this. Hadn't been easy, but awfully proud on how they have.
Curt, can you tell me what the team has done, the players have done as a coping mechanism through this? What are some of the things that they've done to kind of handle that day-by-day process, and what has the team done to help them with that?
Well, I think I'll start with the upperclassmen. I don't mean this in a joking manner, but when you're an upperclassman, you probably don't think you're going to spend much more time in the dorms. And our upperclassmen spent a lot more time in the dorms than they thought they ever would be, and that was to look after these young men and to go check on these freshmen. And we've got some of our captains having some of the younger guys over, and it's really made this family stronger. I think the younger guys, you say in recruiting that people make a place. And when you go through tough times like we are right now, it shows what Indiana State's all about and the type of culture we have. We've done it with the leadership. We've done it with our coaches. We've done it with our families. And we've done it with our players' families. And that's exactly how it's happened. And the response within the family has been what I would expect.
The big question surrounding your program we've been asking for a few weeks now, do you have a starting quarterback
Yes.
yet?
Yeah,
And can you name it?
Yep, absolutely. Would have named it earlier, not to make excuses, but Gavin Screws will be our starting quarterback. We feel like we have three capable quarterbacks with Evan Elias and Cade Chambers. But as we closed up camp on Saturday, we were going to make that announcement, and we moved forward and made that decision, not the announcement, excuse me. but our starting quarterback will be Gavin Screws.
What was the ultimate factor in determining Gavin as that guy? And you mentioned the capabilities of the other two quarterbacks. How fluid might that be? As the season goes along.
Well, I think ultimately the experience that Gavin has. Gavin has played in a junior college for 2 seasons. He spent all spring practices with us. He's been in our system a little bit longer. The other two are going to be really good quarterbacks. Evan Elias shows some really, really good signs. He joined us in the summer, but we don't have access throughout the summer. So really having the full-time access to him didn't start until August 1st. And he quickly closed the gap. I mean, he was right in the mix. And Evan is going to be a really good player, as Cade is going to be a really good player. We feel really good about our quarterback situation. But really, the determining factor was the experience, being more, being in our system a little bit longer, and you saw that being the edge.
Coach, you've been a part of a lot of big games. As a player, as a coach, can you prepare, even kind of go through what kind of process the game is going to be like Thursday night? Certainly emotional on the field and off the field. We're expecting a big crowd here too.
Yeah, we've had the approach. We're all in this thing together, and we're going to stay together through all this. We're going to honor the young men today at the memorial service. We'll all be there as a team. We have helmet decals in which we will wear or put on our helmets all season long. There'll be a moment of silence before this game, and of course we're having a whiteout. And I think the one thing that we'll continue to talk to our players about is what you can control. Number one, you got to stay in the moment, and we have to do that. And I talked to the team about 3 things. Number one, play hard. And it may sound simple, but that's what these guys have done since August 1st. That's how they practice. And they're not going to line up on Thursday night and not play hard, because I see it every day in practice. I'm going to talk to them about playing smart, and be able to play that next play when the whistle's blown. And then the third thing is be able to block it out and play the next play. And those 3 things may sound simple, but those are what we preach every day in practice. And we're not asking them to do anything different than that they're going to do on Thursday night. And I know they'll be ready.
Coach, Thursday night under the lights, you play a lot of day games, especially at home.
Yep.
How excited are you and the guys? Kind of like back to their high school days of the bigger stage, the lights. Are they excited for that kind of atmosphere?
Yeah. Oh, I don't think there's any doubt. I'll go back to the last game of the season, and a good amount of these guys were there, and some of them had a bigger role than others, but a lot of them experienced that, and that went into the off season. What type of off season that these young men had. The off season started the day after we won in Bloomington, Illinois, and these guys have worked extremely hard to get to where they're at today. So they're anxious. They're anxious to play, and that's what I describe they're feeling right now. It's not nervousness; it's anxiousness. They're anxious. They're anxious to play. They put a lot of work into it, and they're anxious to get this season started.
Curt, X's and O's wise, can you give us an overview of North Alabama on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, up front defensively, I think they're very active. They're a 4-man front. They'll get into a 2-shell, and they'll get into some single high stuff. I think they're very athletic. They're active up front, but I really like their safety. Their safety. I know him by number 1, but he's one heck of a player, and I was going to say Kyrie Fields. I've been really impressed with him. He's a run stopper. He knocks you down when he hits you. He plays well in the middle of the field, but he's a guy that has really stepped out, and you can see he's the leader of that side of the ball. Offensively, I'm really impressed with their wide receiver core. Very talented. They're healthy for the first time, but they've got a lot of experience there, and they've got a lot of explosiveness. If you look at their running backs, their running back that that I've been most impressed or seen the most has been Parker Driggers. You know, he's a guy that had a 99-yard run, and you know, he can do a lot of things, catching the ball, running the ball. Up front, it starts with Cam Watson. You know, he's the veteran guy up front, and he's also the leader up front. But they're going to have an up-tempo offense. They're going to go fast at times, and we're going to have to be disciplined. We're going to have to do a great job communicating on defense, getting lined up, and getting ready to play the next play.
It's always important to start well, gain some momentum going into the rest of the schedule. The schedule beefs up considerably after this game. You know, is there even more importance on? I mean, I'm sure you don't say it that way to the players, but to put something positive on the board, you know, early on to kind of get things moving in the right direction.
You know, our approach has been very simple. I don't know if our message during camp was we were getting ready for the season, right? This is, you know, we know what type of schedule we have ahead of us. Our players are excited for the opportunity. You prepare for the season. For the last week and a half, 2 weeks, it wasn't about the season. It was all about North Alabama. That's it. That's all we talked about. That's all we prepared for, and that's all our focus has been on. And, you know, for the last week and a half, 2 weeks, you know, that's where we've been looking at. And the focus has been on that. We've had great days of preparation. These guys have come out and worked. Has it been exact? Are we ready to play? No. But the effort and the way that they've approached it, I couldn't ask for it to be any better.